Behold, hands. That's right. Underneath it all, I am a flesh and blood person. I bet you didn't call that. Actually, you can see all the stuff now. Look at this. A little fuzzy bird here. Got a Sora amiibo. And I can show you the Mountain Dew that we're drinking tonight. This is impressive. I have so much new capabilities. And none of it involves showing you my face. So the first thing I had to grab out of the bag here is this actually came with one of my my commander deck. Because I actually got the Terra commander deck. And I didn't do the opening for these on stream because these are a set list of cards. They're always going to be the same, everything that's in here. You can go and look up exactly what you're going to get out of them. It's not nearly as interesting. But there are some fun cards in there, including, like, here, summon a Moogle. This Moogle will summon more Moogles and buff those Moogles. But it also came with this collector booster sample, which is essentially what it sounds like. It's a 3-card sample of something from what you would get in the collector boosters. So I thought we'd start with that, since that's the only thing that's going to come with, like, oh, there could be something rare or shiny in it. I doubt it. It's a sample. I don't think they would knowingly put that in the samples, but we can at least start with that and see what we get. All right. Excited? I've never done card opening like this. And it's been a long time. I haven't played Magic. I was telling people, I looked it up. The last time I played Magic was when the revised edition had come out. I think the last expansion that had come out when I had last started playing Magic was either Homeland or Ice Age. That's a long time ago. All right, so let's see here. Look! There's more to come if you get the collector boosters, which are like $40, $50 a pack. No thank you. Summoner's Sending. That lovely picture of Yuna here. I'm trying to get the light here so I can... And Kefka Dancing Mad. Neither of which are shinies, but they are. I think this one technically is a borderless. I have no idea. They're borderless pictures. No shiny though. That's okay. Still, it's kind of cool to get them. So the one thing I noticed. The irony of pulling Yuna first since it's going to play 10-2 later. It's true, right? And it's even funnier. It's from a Terra deck. It's not even from, like, the Titus deck. And I got that thing first tonight. Let me turn on some music here. There we go. Some music in the background. So yeah, that is our first, that's from our sampler. And I would say, it's like, if you notice here, they've got a little chocobo symbol here. Apparently the commanders and the regular plague decks have 2 different symbols. If it's from a commander set, it has the chocobo. And if it's from the regular set, it just says like Final Fantasy. Or it's like FF in a crystal. Alright, let's crack into this proper. Ooh, music, you're a bit loud. Turn you down. Get some Final Fantasy music playing here. I'm trying to get that drop down in the background. Let's quiet that down just a little bit more. Well, I, for one, am excited. It's not often I get to do this. Scan here to discover the coolest cards. None of which will be in these. Because these are the play boosters. The coolest cards come from the expensive ones. Whole bunch of different things. Draft archetypes. I have no idea what any of that means, because draft games were not even a thing when I played Magic. Alright. So are these all cloud? It's like every single cover... Yeah, every single pack in here has cloud on it. How weird. Let's take out one good stack here. I don't know if we'll be able to open all of these. I don't plan to go more than half the stream opening cards. But, you know, if we end up opening them, that's good. If not, hey, you know, we'll move on and I'll show off any sort of fanciness. Although it is kind of funny, we're listening to the opening of Final Fantasy VII and all the packs have cloud on them. Look at all these. 14 cards each times 30. That's a number. That's a lot of cards. Alright. Let's crack into this, shall we? I'm excited to see what we get. There are so many cool cards in this that are just... Let's bring the camera down here a little bit. So first card is... Fight On. Let me turn this. It's weird angle. There we go. Fight On, which has a picture of Aerith healing Yuffie here. And there's the symbol I was telling about. It's a little Final Fantasy crystal. You can't see it 100%. Let me see if I can focus this. There we go. So you can see, yeah, Final Fantasy and a crystal on the normal sets. Kissel Greens! Gotta have a Chocobo's favorite treat. Magic Damper. This is a picture of Fang from 13 there. With the Gay Bolg, no less. That's her ultimate weapon in the game. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to when we get to 13. Really, I really am. It's one of those games that I have always really enjoyed, but a lot of people don't. So I want to be able to make my case for 13. Moogle. A Final Fantasy XIV Moogle, which I believe means this is actually specifically the Moogles from the Churning Mists. Which is interesting because the Churning Mist Moogles and the Land Moogles actually have different naming conventions in 14. One is all based off of Kupo, and one is based all off of Mog. So the Churning Mist Moogles names are all, you know, Mog, Mogany, Mogifant. And the ones in the land tend to be Kupo Kuplops, Kupoko. GF Ifrit from 8. Again, very appropriate that we're listening to 8 music and we're pulling this. Aw, yeah, I love that picture of the Moogle. That's just a cute Moogle. So this is specifically 8's GF Ifrit. The quote is not bad for a human. It's okay, we kicked your butt. We remember. We even had it on the hardest difficulty and we still kicked your butt. The White Mage staff. I love that art of the White Mage. That is gorgeous. White Mage is actually, like, I believe it's Siri's favorite class. She loves playing White Mage. We got her actually like a White Mage hoodie, and we got her a White Mage poster and all this stuff. Because she likes playing the healers. And White Mages in particular. That is gorgeous, though. Whoa. The Lunatic Pandora. Look at that. That is gorgeous. That looks way better than it does in the game. Inside the Lunatic Pandora is this thing called called a crystal pillar. It calls monsters from the moon. Well, it just sounds silly when you put it that way. Oh, Choco Comet. With our red chocobo calling down the meteors. The other colorations of chocobo tend to be quite violent, giving rise to the saying, yellow best for riding, aught else best to be hiding. I don't know what even that's from. 12 apparently is what the art is from. But I love that quote, and I wish I knew what that was actually from, if that's something original for the card game here, or that's actually from one of the games. Diamond Weapon. Specifically the 7 iteration of Diamond Weapon. A tutelary creature only said to appear when the planet is in grave danger. I always thought Diamond Weapon was like this weird, interesting kind of concept, because it's this giant... The weapons in general, I'm really hoping that the last installment of the remake trilogy actually goes more into like weapons and like what they are and what they come from. They added a bunch to them though. Woo! Another Final Fantasy VI card. Realm sketching. And she's drawing a giant T-Rex there. And then of course the quote is from her intro text when they ask you to give her a name. Is that in her picture she captures everything. Forests, water, light, the very essence of the things she paints. And a Phoenix Down. Which is what? Exile this artifact, choose one. Return a creature with mana 4 or less to your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And exile target. Oh, I love it. They actually added the feature where you could get rid of the undead by using a Phoenix Down on it. Ooh! Earth Crystal from Final Fantasy III. I'm really hoping that, you know, of course my goal is to collect the whole set. You know, that's really what I want. But one of the big things some of the goals, like the mini goals I've set for myself wanting to get out of this, is I really want all 4 crystals. They're all done up in this style, and it's very beautiful. Oh, a shiny card! We got a foil! Sorceress's Schemes with Ultimecia in it. The price for the meddling is beyond death. Sure, Ulti. You have such a weird frickin'... Return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard or exiled card in flashback to own your hand. Add red. And a shiny land, which is a Final Fantasy VIII land. For those who don't recognize it, this is technically, I believe this is Idia's orphanage. This is the old antiquated building that Idia's was running her orphanage out of. You have the lighthouse way in the distance, and this is the beach where you have that one scene where everyone's kind of getting together and sharing their memories. And an art card of Kamari. With a giant monster behind him. Meaning Kamari is about to die. Yeah, that's that's fitting. So that's our first pack. Not bad. We got a good number of Final Fantasy VIII cards in there. Even a little Final Fantasy VI representation and a Moogle. I don't think I can say anything bad about the fact that we end up with a pack with a Moogle in it. Ah. Let go. Let's see here. What do we got first? Cutrube for rare from 11. And a chocobo. Well, technically it's a chocobo spell, but yes. It's a good representation pack to start with. I feel good about that. You know, I have to admit, I've never played Final Fantasy XI. It was just one of those things where it was not my style of MMO. And back when it was really active, I just didn't have the money to play it. I do know that the Cute Rube or Cut Rube or however you pronounce it did show up in 14 eventually, though, in the Endwalker expansion. They show up on an island dungeon. You weren't able to play 11? Yeah, it was just one of those things where it's just like, I didn't have the money or the, because at that time, it was like, oh, you play it with the PlayStation, you have to get the hard drive, you have to get all the... I just did not have the means to do it back then. And then even if I did, it wasn't my style of game, really. Gubu Gardner! From 14. Oh no, also from 11. I didn't know the Gubus were also in 11. I thought they were a 14 exclusive thing. That's interesting to know. The parasitic moss that grows in the folds of the Gubu's back is highly valued as an ingredient in various potions and medicines. That's gross. That is disgusting. The Scorpion Sentinel. Barret, be careful. Attack while its tail is up. It's gonna counterattack with its laser. If you control 7 or more lands, creature gets +3/+0. Why? Is that like supposed to be a 7 pun? Because it's from Final Fantasy 7, so if you have 7 lands... I don't know. Chocomog! Work, Kupo. I love it. What's really interesting is if you look, this is the remake version of Mog. You can tell because he looks more like a koala bear than like what this little guy looks like. And the remakes redid the Moogle designs for 7 to be more koala-like. Ooh, item shopkeep. Which I find it very interesting that the item shopkeep, if you look down here, they tell you what game it's from. This is the Final Fantasy 3 version of the shopkeep? I don't know how you differentiate them. I really don't. The Hillgeigus! Hey, Lunar, look, it's the Hillgeigus! You were having fun with these guys yesterday. I think it's funny, this is the... Specifically, it calls out this is a Final Fantasy VI Hillgeigus. And, of course, you know, the quote is the fact that it's from Zozo. But, yeah, like Lunar, I'm mentioning to Lunar, they appeared in Final Fantasy II... originally, and their design isn't much different from this. Hillgeigus, ice, thunder, light, fire. Yeah, the Hill 1 and 2 is greenish. Yeah, I was noticing that. But the design hasn't changed, really, which I thought was interesting. Monk's Fist. From Final Fantasy 1. Always a good reminder, if you do have a monk in Final Fantasy 1, don't ever give them items. They get double the number of attacks if you just let them attack with their bare fists. Don't trust the optimize. It lies. It's much better to just let them wail on it with their fists. Judge Master Gabranth. This is a little spoilery for the upcoming game that we're going to be getting to soon. Final Fantasy 12. We're hoping to start it out by the end of the summer, but you know, this everything's kind of slowed me down in terms of getting through 10-2, but we are planning on still doing a race of 12, so stay tuned for that, everybody. But yeah, Gabrinth. I slew your king. I slew your country. Do these deeds not demand vengeance? Nah. You still need to work on the art for the 12 race? True. So, you know, we both have some catching up to do. It's fine. Opera love song! Oh! Oh, my hero, my beloved, shall we still be made to part? I want to say that's the most recent translation of the opera song. The aria di mezzo carattere. But I don't know. Because I want to say the opening line was different in the original, like, Super Nintendo translation. But man, look at that picture. She's, like, catching the star in the background. More Moogles! So many fuzzies! A new letter has arrived for you, Cabal! I actually have a plush of this guy over on my shelf. The male Moogle. He comes with a little bag and hat. Alright, what's next? Really? There's a Blitzball side quest car. I mean, the picture's very nice. I get it, but what does this card actually do? At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. At the end of combat on your turn, if player was dealt 6 or more combat damage this turn, transform this enchantment, then attach it to a creature you control. Which means this flips over. Of course, if you play Blitzball, what does that side quest lead to naturally? The World Champion Celestial Weapon. Which gives you double overdrive. That's actually kind of clever, is that the side quest gives you, like, the celestial weapon that you get at the end of it. Although we never really got a chance to talk about this one during the actual gameplay. But the World Champion actually belonged to... They make a mention a few times of the Grand Summoner. That was, I think, before Yuna's dad was the Grand Summoner, but he was also a Blitzball player. And that this actually is his Blitzball that Waka uses when he gets his Celestial Weapon. Ooh, Fire Crystal. It's not the borderless one like the other one we got, but this is still the Fire Crystal in the set here. Although, interestingly enough, the Fire Crystal was not... It's not in a volcano like this in Final Fantasy III. No, this is the Final Fantasy III one. But I'm trying to remember, because I don't think the Fire Crystal is actually located in like a volcano type situation like this. I thought it was like in a factory or something that you find it in. Or maybe I'm thinking of 5. I always get 3 and 5 mixed up. That's always been my problem. It's like, for some reason in my head, the two get conflated, because there's so much in common between them. They have were solid examples of the job system. They both involve the crystals. Ooh, another shiny. Resentful Revelation. It's Sephiroth in the library. Cloud. I want to go and read books. Sephiroth, something has gone very wrong with you. You don't like to read. I want to, though. dear God, you madman. And of course, the royal city of Rabanastre from Final Fantasy XII as a shiny land, which either gives you white or red. But I love that artwork. Look at that. That is beautiful. Love the music there. Oh, it's such a good... I just love Rabanastre in general. Oh, yes. It's our boy. It's the boy. Stiltskin. And Vivi in the background, I guess. Stiltskin art card. My coworker actually bought 3 collector's packs, which I thought was hilarious because he's like, yeah, I went and bought 3 of the collector's packs. Like, he spent as much as I did on this entire box on 3 collector's packs. But he did get the Stiltskin collector's woodcut card. And I told him, he's like, I don't see, I was so excited about it. He's like, I don't see why you're so excited about this. It's just, it's not even worth that much. It's like $3. I'm like, well, then I will buy it off of you, sir. It's like, he doesn't know our heroes. He doesn't know who's great. All right. First things first, we got a treasure token. I believe. Yeah, tokens also have a flip side. So you have the hero card, which is, interestingly enough, one of the militia members from the Borza Battlefront from Shadowbringers in Final Fantasy XIV with a gun. Does it say what? Final Fantasy 1 has treasure. Okay. I guess that is accurate. Slash of Light. With the Warrior of Light here striking out chaos. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years has ended, and peace prevailed once more. Nice little reference to the ending title crawl there from 1. The Mysidian Elder from 4. I think it's interesting. I assume that's the Elder, and then that's just some random black wizard. I mean, half of Mysidia is like just black wizards. Shinra reinforcements. Okay, what Shinra soldier had a baton? I ask you, sir. And or madam. Like, he's got a gun. That makes sense. I saw a lot of Shinra soldiers with guns. Lunar! It's the boy! A pleasingly plump summon. Create a 2/2 green bird with whenever you whenever a land you control enters, you get +1/+0. And it has trample. The Fat Chocobo! Oh my god, I didn't even know that was a card. A Sage's Newliths. Again, from 14 in particular is the Sage card, because they have the Sage class, not to be confused with the Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 5 Sages, which tend to be just high-level casters. But these, in 14, they're healers that use these little floating missile things. I don't know what they actually are. Is that supposed to be Makote or a bunny or a cat? I can't tell. What are your guesses? Hey! Loprit bunnies! Yeah, I'm not sure either. It could just be a stylistic cat ears, or it could be rabbit ears. It really could go either way. But speaking of rabbit ears, we've got a Loprit Scout. Very specifically, the Final Fantasy XIV iteration, because not only do you see the fact that it's traditional Loprit gear, but they're in one of the locations from Endwalker in the background here. Zuckness, thank you for the hydrate. I need it. I'm talking a lot. Ooh, Scriptures of the Germanique. That should be a good one. Okay, let's see what here. A Blitzball. Not the event, not a side quest, just a Blitzball. And I love the ability name. It's Goal! You can see a little Titus there in the corner. Oh, this is a lovely... Oh, this is a full art, beautiful picture. Vanadial Adventurers. So this is a Final Fantasy XI thing, I guess, because Vanadial is the name of the current raid series in Final Fantasy XIV, which is supposed to be a Final Fantasy XI throwback series. I always like these guys. I don't know what they're called, but I find them adorable. Again, it is the legend. We have Sandworm's sign, the likes of which Chaos has never seen. Why does it have haste? I don't know why. But I like, it's a very crazy... I just love the fact that this is such an iconic monster. Not only do we constantly gag about it every time we run into one in a game, but it's so notable that they even bothered to give it its own card in the set. Apparently it's specifically the Final Fantasy V version that you fight on the way to the pyramids. Ooh, another summon card. This one's Primal Garuda from 14. It's very pretty. Another diamond weapon. I just noticed that it's an 8/8 creature. Ooh. Genova, the Ancient Calamity. I love that art of Genova, though. Although I always thought her hair was like tentacles, not actual hair, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't really remember very well. And we got a shiny here of Gilgamesh, Master at Arms. Strange, he's listed as a human samurai when he has, 4 arms. Although he doesn't have 4 arms in this picture. But he is the Final Fantasy V version. That is a really pretty card. And Windurst, the Federation Center, which I guess is a 11 reference again. Again, I don't get any of these references to 11 because it's like such a... Oh, man. Maybe we could get Wizard on sometime and like level 99 Gaming Wiz and get him over here to explain some of this stuff. I know he plays 11 still. So maybe he can explain what some of these locations and cards mean. And that finishes out our second pack. Or our third pack? Was it our third or second? I don't know. Oh, we got another token card. That was the third? Okay. So another treasure with a different hero on the backside this time, though. This is a summoner from 14. Complete with... Just as how you know it's a player character and not an NPC, because all player characters go for the heterochromia. It's just a thing. Like, even my character in 14 has heterochromia. But it's such a noticeable thing in, like, 14 where everyone... Just because they have the option. Ew. Although that art is amazing. I will say that. That is some real good art there of the Malboro. It doesn't get a quote. And interesting enough, it's the Final Fantasy 15 version of the Malboro, which is an interesting choice. The art is beautifully done. Yeah, there has not been too many cards that I've been disappointed with the art for in this one. They've all been really particularly beautifully rendered. I would have gone with the 16 version of the Malboro. It's a little bit more menacing, really. The Bard's Bow from 14. Just more job equipment. For those who haven't played Final Fantasy 14, the other MMO, each class is tied with a particular type of equipment. So only bards can use bows. Only sages can use newliths. Only paladins can use sword and shield. So it's a very particular piece of equipment. Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. Donna! I'm sad that's not the flavor text. That is the most flattering image of Donna I think I've ever seen, actually. She actually looks cool there. And properly clothed. Oh! You're not alone! You've always protected us, but you don't understand that we looked out for you, too. Dagger. That is probably the most mature-looking Zidane. Ooh, Kefka's Light of Judgment. Oh man, I really wish we ever got to see what it looks like when he does this on top of his tower, because we only ever get to see the beam shoot out and destroy the towns. But I like to think he's doing all these weird, goofy poses at the top of the tower as he's blowing up places. I was there. I saw when Kefka used his Light of Judgment to torch the village of Moblis far to the east. Ooh, the Grand Pulse Ochu. Now that's Final Fantasy 13. I like how it has Death Touch. Like, just, oh geez. We'll see when you get to 13, but you'll see Grand Pulse is intense to get through. A Sahagin. More specifically, the Final Fantasy 14 Sahagins, which are a little bit more svelte in their design than some of the other ones, which tend to be more muscly. Even have the weird, like, dialect. Peace, silent sword walker, try to escape, and I'll slice your guild into your neck. You gotta wait to do 13 until your PC is built, but the time you get to 13, it'll definitely be built. The problem there isn't necessarily the hardware requirements. The fact is that the PC versions are really poorly made ports, so they tend to crash a lot. I've honestly found it easier to run it on a Steam Deck than I have on my PC, just because it tends to be more stable. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to 13. If I'm going to do, like, play it on console or play it on the PC. Hey! It's Poo-Poo! You were gifted 13, so you can't complain too much? Fair! And it's not like you can't make it work. It's just you might need some extra modding or something like that to help with it. It's him stealing the pyramid from 8. Look at this little quote. Thank you. I do wish they had a little thing where if you gave it, if you had an elixir card on it, it would do something, but I don't even know if there is an elixir card. Black Waltz number 3. That is some gorgeous artwork. Just Black Waltz blowing up the sky with lightning. And continuing our Final Fantasy IX trend, we have the Prima Vista. Oh, accidentally bumped the camera. Sorry about that, folks. Rydia's return. I love the look on Cecil's face in this, because it just shouts, wait, how are you an adult? You've been gone for like 2 weeks. Oh, the lunar whale. Flying away from... I don't know what this is supposed to be in the background. Like, it normally would look like the Crystal Tower. What's funny is this also does not look anything like the lunar whale that you actually see in 4. This is what, like, the Amano art for the lunar whale was based off of. But honestly, like, the only place you can get that as an actual in-game mount is 14. So I'm wondering if this art was originally meant to be the 14 version, with, like, the 14 lunar whale and that being, like, the Crystal Tower in the background from 14. I mean, there are a number of towers in 4, but none of them look like that. Ooh! Foil, Prompto. I love the picture of this one because it's Prompto taking a selfie while Gladio gets his butt kicked in the background. That's such a good picture of him. And of course his special ability, Selfie Shot. Look out, world, here we come. And for our mountain card, for our land, we do have... it doesn't actually say it anywhere, but those who recognize it, recognize it. I will tell you this. It's Final Fantasy IV. What do you think that is? Because there's only one place that can be. There's only one mountain that would have a place like that at the top. If you said Mount Ordeals, you get a cookie. Get yourself a cookie. You earned it. Alright, and that's 4 packs, and we're already down with like the first hour of stream so far for tonight. trying to remember, but it's been so long since you played 4. It's okay. Trust me. It's the scene in 4 where Cecil becomes a paladin, is Mount Ordeals, and it has a huge shrine where you have to go into it, and that's where Cecil goes from being a Dark Knight to a paladin. So yeah, that is what that is referencing. So let's see what we got in this next pack here. A weapon vendor. Specifically one from 7, which you can see with the materia on the door on the thing here. I want to say this is the vendor that's in the Midgar or the Sector 7 slums. Oh. Haste magic. Double time? Gives you a +3/+1. Hey, heck dies! I think he sees you. Complete with a quote from Hilda, the Princess of Finn. Once the monsters of hell poured forth into the world, they entered using a path known as the Jade Passage. How weird is it that we're seeing so many cards pop out, something that are specifically to what you're going through right now, Lunar? How's that? That's great. The Town Greeter. This is Cornelia, the City of Dreams. I don't ever remember there being a... Is that what those people just wandering around the city square is supposed to be? Like they're greeters, like at Walmart? I never got that impression at all. I just thought they were just townsfolk out and about their business, but apparently they were actually greeters. I will ask one where the hardware aisle is next time. Oh, ice magic. This is actually kind of cool. I like how they did this, because it's like, oh, well, which ice magic is it? Well, that depends on how you cast it. If you give it no additional cost, it's Blizzard. If you use 2 extra mana, it's Blizzara, and if you use 5 and an extra blue, it's Blizzaga. So you have one card that handles it all. Oh, I just noticed that's Lulu! I noticed at the bottom it says Final Fantasy X. I was like, wait, how do you know? And no, it's Lulu down there. And her Moogle. Syncopate. With... Oh, it is Bullwinkle! No, it's Seymour. I didn't notice his hair at first. He looked downright almost normal there for a second. Because I didn't notice this long thing at the top. The Adventurer's Inn from Final Fantasy III. Welcome, we have rooms for 200 gil a night. Would you like to stay and rest your body and mind? Even in the card game. Highway frickin' robbery. Orin's Inspiration. That is a beautiful picture. I would put that on my wall. Like, if I had a poster of that, or I would frame it and put it on a wall. That is gorgeous. And of course, the great quote here at the bottom. Now is the time to choose. Now is the time to shape your stories. Your fate is in your hands. The Final Days. The apocalyptic event from Final Fantasy XIV. Complete with its horrible monstrosities that it brings with it. And if you think that's creepy, you should see what it looks like in the actual game. It's even worse. Because you can't really tell, because it looks just like a design. It's just got mouths all along the sides of it. on both sides. There are some really messed up monsters they came up with for the apocalypse. Oh, hey, there's an ether. You exile it and get 1 blue mana. Restores 20 MP. Oh no. Triple Triad. It's a card game in a card game. Please tell me you actually have to... Oh no. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until the end of your turn, you play the card you own... play the card you own exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way with lesser mana value than paying the mana cost. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I was kind of hoping you would just make you like, okay, set aside the Magic the Gathering, play a game of Triple Triad. And of course, Xenos, yay, Galvis. I love his ability. It's called My First Friend. So for those who haven't played 14, Xenos is the crown prince of the Empire, and he is obsessed with your character because it's like you're the only person that could match them wit for wit or blow for blow and still come back and fight more. So he decides that's what makes you his friend. You're his only friend. But on top of it, he also flips and becomes Shinryu, the transcendent rival. He turns into a big old dragon. And the Rook turret, which is from Final Fantasy XIV, shiny holofoil one, or foil one, because the machinists can summon little turrets to do stuff for them in 14. And a Rabanaster, which we already have one of. Oh, there's a nice picture. You want a nice art card, something you would frame up on a wall. Check that out. Grahatia. Just that background is gorgeous, even more so than the character. Just this background is beautiful. I'm loving the art cards in this set. Not a lot of duplicates so far, which I'm really happy about. Perfect introductory music for this little guy. Oh yeah. Moogle token. Perfect. From Final Fantasy VI, my favorite design, well, not my favorite design, but, you know, the classic Moogle design. I have to say, if I had to pick one that's my favorite, it's the Crystal Chronicles versions of the Moogle. They look like little pom-poms. They're adorable. What's on the other side? Okay, another hero. We have this one already. I just love the name of that card. Yes, that's what it was. It was Sephiroth's Intervention. That's the best way to describe that. Destroy target creature. The Gigantoad. From 15, interestingly enough. I don't even remember Gigantoads being in 15. Or Gigantoad, I guess is how you would pronounce that. And again, no, this is because this is a 15 version and it still has the 7 or more lands. And here's a non-shiny, non-foil version of the Rook turret. Now this is a card designed for people who have played the game. Aerith Rescue Mission. Choose one. Take the elevator. which creates 3 1/1 colorless hero tokens. Okay. Take 59 flights of stairs. Tap up to 3 target creatures. Put a stun counter on one of them. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove one from it instead. So you can either get 3 1/1 characters if you take the elevator, or you can stun 3 creatures. That is such a great just joke card. Perfect for just, oh man. The Blazing Bomb. And of course it has Blow Up, which allows you to sacrifice the creature as a sorcery that deals damage equal to its power. Okay, this is one that not everyone watching us, who's been watching us through all of the Final Fantasy playthroughs that we've been doing, because we haven't got here yet. But when we do, you'll know. And those who have played 15 know the importance of this card. This is an artifact, not just because that's the card type, but because the Cup of Noodles is sacred. It's funny, they couldn't get the promo, actually, because in the actual game, this isn't just instant ramen. This is Cup Noodles. They did a whole product tie-in with Cup Noodles for Final Fantasy 15. And of course, they have Gladio's perfect introspection about the Cup of Noodles. It's not about finding the single best ingredient. It's about crafting the perfect blend of meat, egg, and shrimp. The harmony of flavors is key. You'll see when we get there. It's one of my favorite recurring things in that game. Well, yeah, here's our chance to check the lyrics. Well, at least it's in this version. Magic Pot. Again, it's one of those things where it doesn't have the thing where you have to give it an elixir at least. But it does have the text. Give me elixir. Ooh, this is a pretty card. Warrior of Light. From Final Fantasy 1. That is gorgeous. I love that. Another Ether. Another Final Days. Another Choco Comet. Arden the Usurper. The big bad of Final Fantasy 15 there. Cost 8 mana. That's crazy. He actually is one of my favorite villains up there with Kefka. Just in terms of sheer personality. Call of the Mountain Chocobo! Which is green. Oh, it's 7, so yeah, I suppose the Mountain Chocobo would be the green one, wouldn't it? But it's a foil, so it's shiny. And a Swamp from Final Fantasy 2. Which, if I'm judging from the looks of it, you can't really tell the color very well. But I think this is supposed to be the Jade Passage. That, or it's the Mysidia Caverns. Alright. What was it? We got 4 more packs in this stack that we pulled out. It's a third of the box. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting this. But we have a frog token with Kina, of course, in the background. And a Final Fantasy XIV hero, this time being a rabbit girl warrior. Although, interesting enough, warrior axe, red mage rapier down here. So it seems to be just supposed to be a generic hero, as in has multiple jobs here. And of course, this not is typical, like, tank armor. So of course, glam, the true end game, properly represented. The Dwarven Castle Guard from 4. Lally ho is a dwarven greeting. Now we have Thunder Magic, which, interesting enough, has lightning on the card. Same thing, Thunder, Thunder, Thundaga. We haven't got a ton of 13 cards, surprisingly, so far. Undercity Dire Rat from 12. I finally worked out how to get the door open on the left side. I hope there's something in there besides rats, kites, street urchin. Although, interesting enough, Rat Tail. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. So a nice little reference to Final Fantasy 1 there on there, too. Blitzball Shot. Everyone seems to be calling for Waka, folks. Is this me or Waka has extra clothes on in this? Maybe it's just me. Combat tutorial. With a very baffled looking Tidus and a exasperated looking Lulu as the sword gets stuck in the slime. Clueless, aren't you? Good thing I'm here. Followed by the opposite end, the Final Fantasy XV incarnation of the Iron Giant, which is terrifying if you run into him in 15. Like, I have no doubt we'll see one when we get to that point. But man, oh man, is there anything, like, seeing one of those things emerge from the earth is terrifying. Ooh! Another full art card, Newfound Adventure. Highlighting the key art from the first patch of Endwalker on Final Fantasy XIV. I always love the Final Fantasy XIV key arts. They're always really pretty. The Gold Saucer! That is an interesting rendition of how it looks. There's a lot more, I guess, curves, like spiky points to this than I remember. Aww! Renoa! And Angelo. When Renoa heartily enters, create Angelo, a legendary 1/1 green and white dog creature token. That is great. And of course, Angelo Cannon. Whenever Renoa heartily attacks, another target creature you control gets +1/+1 to the end of your... Launch the dog! Stolen uniforms from Final Fantasy VI. Oh, it's because it's you can barely tell with the coloring and the lighting. It's Locke from 6 stealing the uniform when he goes back to South Figaro. Of course, you know, it's a little tight, but the price was right. Crystal fragments. Oh, the broken 4 crystal pieces from 9 when they summon Alexander. That is awesome. It is so cool to see that rendition that way. Golbez, Crystal Collector. Legendary creature. Human wizard. He's not a human. He's a Lunarian. And a hollow and a foil. Gaius Van Belsar. Another one of the big bads from Final Fantasy XIV. The very standard picture of Balzar, unfortunately. And the real disappointment is that his block takes up so much text, we don't get a quote from him at the bottom. But then again, if we put the quote we were all thinking of, that would take up the entire text block. You know the one. Gone, Town of Ruin. From Final Fantasy V? Trying to remember what Gone was. Was it the werewolf town in World B? I think it might. Oh wait, no. No, this isn't. I should have read the text first. Duh. They say that beyond the dunes is the town of Ruin, where no one can ever enter the desert to find out, let alone cross it. From Sid. This is the town that you find the ruins of Ronka underneath. All right. Oop, looks like we're getting another art card. A Dragoon's Wyvern. Although, interesting enough, it's a Final Fantasy XI reference, apparently. Not the Dragoon's Wyvern from 2. A duplicate of the Cloudbound Moogle? Yes! We got it! With the also infamous scene. I like how they kept it as suplex because in the later translations of the ability is like meteor fall or something like that, not suplex. But everyone knows suplex. You gotta suplex the train. You don't meteor fall the train or whatever. That classic picture of Sabin. Oh no! I had no idea these freaks were in this. Ah, the Namazu traders. From 14. Fish citizens. Ugh. These guys are adorable, weird, and very annoying. Airship crash. I'm assuming from 9. Let me check. Yep. With Baku of the Tantalus group quote on there. That artwork. Oh my god, for laughing mad. Although I think we can compare now, didn't we? Didn't we get that as a one of our cards that we got in the collector's thing here? I don't know where I set those down. Oh, there they are. Oh no. Nope, that was Kefka dancing mad, not laughing mad. But I love that art. Look at that. Like, it's his head exploding and withering away. And exposing, like, all the different characters. The Adventurer airship from Final Fantasy 1. Oh! This one, I kind of wish they did original. I get why, like, they're using the iconic key art picture of Squall from the FMV. Like, this was a very, like, when Final Fantasy VIII came out, this picture was all over the place. If you went and got, like, any sort of merch or anything, there were wall scrolls of this picture. There were pencil boards of this picture. It was everywhere. So it's like the iconic character image of Squall from back in the day. But I really do wish they had some more of like original art for this, because this does, and honestly, it doesn't hold up great. It just doesn't. Ooh, Ambrosia Whiteheart from 16. The White Chocobo. Oh no! The Demon Wall! Apparently the 14 version of Demon Wall, but as everybody who's been watching knows, this guy's shown up all over the place. Hey, it's Ignis! Another character from Final 15, and of course his iconic ability, I've come up with a new recipe! My favorite clip I've ever seen of Ignis is him shouting that right after getting, like, smacked with, like, a minecart or something and going flying, and then he says it. From father to son. I like how it's supposed to be, like, this great heirloom type thing, like, as your father, let me give you some advice, Noctis. But what it's actually about is him giving Noctis the car. Which is appropriate, but carries some secret weight to the plot of 15 if you know how to read between the lines on that. Oh, a hollow, I always call them hollow foils. It's from, I'm so used to the Pokemon terminology, which is weird because I don't collect Pokemon cards either. But a foil version of Aerith Rescue Mission. And Forest from 11, which means I'm not going to recognize what the heck this is from, though I do like the little crabs. And an art card of the Final Days. Ooh, and it's got this little foil thing in the corner here. I don't know what that means. I don't think the other art cards had that, did they? No, they didn't. So I don't know what that means. But it's cool. I still can't take this song seriously. One Winged Angel? I just can't. I've seen the original clips of like what the song, like the lyrics that it borrows from the actual Carmina Burana opera. And if you hear that, it's like the most happy little upbeat song. And they turned it into this, and it's just one of those things like all I can think about is a bunch of drunk guys dancing. That's all I can think about when I hear the song now. Unfortunately, it took all the bite out of One Winged Angel. Wizard token! Bird token! It's not even a chocobo, just bird. It's a very small chocobo, though. If you look at it, like, the full, like, proportions on it. It's interesting, it's Final Fantasy VI, which means this would be even weirder, because the chocobos on that are, like, big. Cornered by black mages. There's a whole bunch of them just standing around. We got it! We got it! You know, I don't care about the gold serialized chocobo. This is the card I wanted. This is the card that is like the thing I was chasing the entire pack. I don't care if it's not foil. I don't care anything. I just wanted this. Commune with beavers. That artwork, just that picture of them talking is so good. And of course, the iconic quote from Final Fantasy II. Guy speak beaver. Guy indeed speak beaver. Power to you, Guy. An ice flan. Particularly the Final Fantasy X incarnation of the flans. In which, I want to say they all just had, they weren't called different desserts in 10, were they? They were just all flans, right? So you had ice flan, thunder flan, fire flan. It wasn't like thunder pudding, ice flan, like some of the games do. I don't remember that. I'm sure we'll run into it in 10-2 and we'll be able to confirm. Oh, a curl. They did not give it its most devastating ability, which is probably for the best. I don't know what you would do with the ability to reduce someone or something down to 1 HP in a Magic game. There's a non-foil Call of the Mountain Chocobo. The world map. I love this because it's the Final Fantasy. It says Final Fantasy 1, and so their quest begin. It actually is the Final Fantasy 1 map. There's Cornelia. There's where the Earth Shrine is. There's the desert where the Mirage Tower is. You can even see the beak of the bird, the wing of the bird. That's amazing. I love that detail. They didn't have to go that hard with it. Shantoto's Coercion. Now, this is an 11-1, but I know Shantoto. I know Shantoto because I've played World of Final Fantasy. But that artwork of Shantoto is amazing. I love this. The kind of anime style for her. I dig that so much. Ooh, the Coral Sword from 5. With a picture of Ferris on there, no less. That is a great picture of Ferris. Oh, I have not seen this. I've seen other versions of this card with other artwork, but this is the first time I've seen this. This is gorgeous for such an atrocious, war crime. Look at that, just dispersing all the colors and mixing as Kefka poisons the water. Oh, man. And of course, the quote. Nothing beats the sweet music of hundreds of voices screaming in unison. Oh, hey. Swallowed by Leviathan. Final Fantasy II. Iconic scene there. I'll never forget getting into the Leviathan, just going, oh man, this is the next dungeon. And then find that there's like an entire community of people who just were swallowed and live inside of Leviathan now. It's like, no, they've got an inn, they got shops, there's a restaurant. Ultimecia, the Time Sorceress. Oh, that is some beautiful art of Ultimecia. And of course, it flips and turns into Ultimecia Omnipotent. Her final form. Nightmare Warlock. I am really upset they don't have any of the quotes where she replaces her C's with K's. Joshua, Phoenix's Dominant from 16. Another very nice picture with his kind of like flame feather cape. And of course, that flips and becomes Phoenix Warden of Fire. Phoenix, of course, having a major role in the 16 games. Side quest, Hunt the Mark. Foil version, too. From 12, of course. You have the Hunt Marks. Let's see, is there any in here we recognize? There's a Marlboro, there's a Curl, there's that chubby cactus thing. They don't have the tomato on here. I'm disappointed, but it flips. Yasmat Ultimate Mark. Oh, that is something that's cool to have a foil version of. And of course, in our land is Trino, the Dark City. There aren't many nobles living here. The nights are long. It's a great place for thieves. If there's not many nobles, why is that such a great place for thieves? There's no one to steal from. And this is the last pack from our stack. We'll have time to open a few more from another stack before we switch over to Final Fantasy X-2 for the night. What is this? Ooh! It's a token creature, but it's a Final Fantasy XIV Black Mage with their iconic artifact armor from Realm Reborn. And I think that might be the Stardust Rod. I'm not sure. But I always liked this outfit. I still use this on a number of characters. It's on the other side of this token. Bird! That one looks a little bit more to scale. I want to know how they differentiate. This is the Final Fantasy II version of the Chocobo. Like, how would you know? There's nothing 2-ish about this other than he's in the woods. And that's the only place you can find the Chocobo in 2. But seriously, look at this. Okay, if I didn't tell you which one is from Final Fantasy VI and which one's from Final Fantasy II, would you be able to tell? I wouldn't. And I've played all these games. Multiple times. Okay, I've only played 2 once. Actually, no, I've played 2 twice. I've played 6 a bunch. But I wouldn't be able to tell you which one's which. How do they know which one's which? Seriously. They're labeled differently. Retrieve the Esper. With your Magitech armor marching through the city of Narsh there. That is a really cool picture. I wish it was zoomed out a bit more so you could see more of like the landscape and everything, but I like this. Fate of the Suncrest. I've only played through 12 once. It's one of the few games I've only played through once. And I have to say, I don't really remember the plot about the Suncrest. I know it's a big part of the plot. I remember it being a very big, important thing, but I cannot remember the details of it for the life of me. I'm looking forward to getting through 12 again, because it's another one of those ones where I don't remember a lot of the details. Oh, there we go. Red Mage's Rapier. Which is funny, because this is attributed to Final Fantasy 1. But it has the Red Mage's focus along with the rapier. Also, I don't even remember if rapiers were a thing in Final Fantasy 1. What I'm saying essentially is this should probably be a Final Fantasy 14 card, not a 1. Other than, like, that's more of the traditional red mage outfit in 1, but Black Mage's Rod, which he's... oh no, he is holding. He is holding in this hand down here. And he's casting through it in that hand. That is an incredibly creepy picture of a Black Mage, though. I can't believe that. Final Fantasy 1. Makes sense. That one makes sense. Prish's Wanderings. I'm gonna guess an 11 because I don't know who Prish is. Yep, I was right. Kirkin Merchant from 11. I didn't know the Kirkin were in 11. There's a lot, apparently, that was in 14 that was actually started in 11, because there have been a number of species that we have seen that have been attributed to 11 in these cards that I only know from 14, so... Vane's Treachery. Spoiler? Grumpy little guy in the background. Ooh, another Ignis card. I just noticed he has coffee. And he's making sandwiches. And spreading spices on it. This card's perfect. This encapsulates every aspect of his personality. Rufus Shinra. Oh, man. You know, at least they gave him the decent version of his coat. Every single time we see him in, like, later and later games, his coat gets more and more ridiculous, I've noticed. Like, in the remake ones, his coat is just full-on silly. Travel the Overworld with our good friend, Bartz and Boko. Oh, nice! I wanted some of these, like the ones with the numbers in the background that kind of like tie into it with like the original art and everything. I really like this like series they did where it have different characters from the series and then they have like the Roman numerals in the background with solid colors. This is the first one we've gotten, but this is so cool. And yeah, no, I'm not getting the foil versions probably in these decks, but the point is, it's still a cool card to have, and I really want to get a lot of these if I can in these out of these, but they're just cool. Hey, it's Saz with the baby Chocobo, who we all know is actually, say it with me, folks, Chocobocolina. Chocobo, we just can't catch a break, can we? I like Saz as a character. Ooh! A foil Chocomog summon. That's nice. And, of course, an island, which is the Bowden Vestige from 13. Your Wi-Fi is back. Welcome back! We just got a foil version of Chocomog. It's shiny. And we got this fantastic numbered version of Zidane. All right, that was my first stack. Let's grab a couple more packs here because we got like 10 more minutes till there's an ad. He's so cute there. He is. It's a really cute drawing of him. Alright, we got another token card here. This one's a knight from Final Fantasy VII? I don't remember the knights, like traditional sword and shield knight. Is it supposed to be from Knights of the Round is what they're trying to reference with that? I guess? Maybe? And this hero is from 14... Oh, it's an Al-Ra. Oh, this is the Black Shroud. I recognize this, actually. This is in the East Shroud. I recognize the location. How weird is that? I've played too many games. I play way too many games. The Final Fantasy 15 Magitech Art Infantry. I never was able to tell if that's a mask or that's actually their faces. I was never 100% clear. I think they're supposed to be masks, but I'm not 100% sure. Because they're cyber soldiers, specifically engineered to excel in combat. Cyber soldiers. Uh-huh, sure. The Warrior's Sword. Of course, that's Final Fantasy 1, because you have the red-haired warrior, of course. And also the fact that in the MMOs, warriors are associated with axes, not swords. Oh, there's a Resentful Revelation duplicate. Chocobo Kick! Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Okay. Quack. Quack. Dreams of Laguna. Oh, I just noticed this was... At first, I just saw these three. And then I was like, where are they at? What point in the story is this? And it's like, okay, well, there's a... No, Julia is here playing piano. In the foreground. And I didn't notice her at first. That is a really good picture. Vincent's Limit Break. Where you can either turn into Hellmasker, Death Gigas, or the Galleon Beast. But not Chaos. Another world map. Love that art still. Hey, hey, hey! Adalbert Steiner. Chivalry requires a knight to look after his comrades in arms. I will not abandon you. The cargo ship from 9. A non-foil version of Gaius Van Belsar. You can actually see the picture a little bit better there. I have to give him credit. With a lot of these pictures, it would have been easy just to grab the art off of the box. There's a pretty iconic image of Gaius Van Belsar from the box art of Final Fantasy 14 back when they first released Realm Reborn. And it would have been so easy just to use that. So them actually like creating original art for it I like it. There you go. Balthier and Fran. You gotta have a Balthier and Fran card. He's the leading man. Your other boy. Ooh, Ishtola Rule. Oh, interesting. They actually have art from back when she was a conjurer. For for those who don't play 14, Ishtola is one of the main cast of the, but she has changed her job multiple times throughout the course of the game, and most of the time, including like on the box art for the booster box here. Let me see if I can grab it here and show you. See, that version of Ishtola is a black mage. And that is what she currently is in the game, in the MMO. But when she started out, way back at the beginning, she was a conjurer, which is the job that led into the white mage. So they actually have her depicted as a conjurer here in the early versions, with her original outfit and everything. Although I can't tell from the art if she's already blind in this. She loses her eyesight at one point in the story. Gallicat! That version is very cute. I do like her older art version. Like, she definitely seems to mature more. It tends to go with her personality, too. She's kind of like a sassy older sister when you first meet her, when she's a conjurer. And then by the time she gets to the point where she's become a black mage, she's more like the... Well, I think the best way to put it is she's more like a wine ant, if you know what I mean. The Gallikitty! Is this enough for the Final Fantasy V version of the Gallikitty? With a quote from Galoof. That's the ticket. Now let's get moving to the North Mountain. Speaking of... Mountain from Final Fantasy I. This is the Volcano Fire Dungeon. That is very clear. And man, oh man, I wish it looked that good when we actually went through it. All right, this will probably be the last pack for tonight, and then we're going to switch over to Final Fantasy X too. We got another Final Fantasy II bird token. And the other side of this one is a bard hero. Interesting enough, I believe that's actually the Dragoon's Onion Knight armor from Final Fantasy XIV. Which means the bard shouldn't be wearing that, but oh well. Oh, and they also have the Dancer Chakrams in the front. Just because they've been putting like multiple armor, multiple hero weapons in a lot of these hero tokens. Maybe if they eventually do an HD remake, we'll get a dungeon like that. They sort of did with Stranger in Paradise, is that you do get to see the volcano in like an HD kind of rendition in Stranger of Paradise. So we kind of did get that. It doesn't look that epic, I will admit. It looks much more realistic in a lot of ways. Okay. All right, the Ahriman. This freaking thing. Flying and Death Touch. Yeah, that sounds about right. I hate you. Hey, there's the boy. The Balam T-Rexar. Not the one you meet in the wild, but the one you meet specifically in Balam. Oh no, I guess technically the continent, the island is called Balam, so it could be the one outside too. Although since it's just Quistis and yeah, this actually might be, because it looks like if you're taking this for granted and you have Quistis and Squall and that's it in your party, and you're running into the Balamti Rexar, chances are they accidentally ran into this thing on the way to go fight Ifrit, which I have done, and it sucks. Another Dragoon's Wyvern. Another Galcat, non-foil one. Another Suplex card. This one's a lot of duplicates in this pack. Namazu Trader, yes, yes. The Crossroads Village in Final Fantasy II. Oh, it's Bofsk! You even see the quote at the bottom. You've got to destroy the Dreadnought. Bofsk Resonant. It's supposed to be Bofsk. Or Bofsk. Ooh, the Cloud of Darkness from 3. That is wonderful art. We are the Cloud of Darkness, bringer of wrath and destroyer of light. Queen Braun and her Black Mage army. Eden, the Seed of Sanctum. Another 13 card, finally. Cocoon's capital shares its name with the Foul Sea patron. Hey, the Emperor of Palamecia. Who always looks like David Bowie in Labyrinth to me. You gotta tell me you see it. You remind me of the Warriors of Light. The Warriors of Light? The Warriors of Light of Voodoo. I don't know, I can't make that joke work, but you know, I get a point. But he flips into the Lord Master of Hell. Of course he does. Lunar, spoilers! You have Jill, Shiva's dominant. Yay, Jill! Best girl. And of course, she flips and becomes Shiva, the Warden of Ice. Showing a lot more skin than I remember Shiva showing off in 16. You looked away, no worries. Good, good, good. Ooh, a foil version of Dreams of Laguna. And, of course, ending tonight's card openings on a high note. Me, I'm from Gungaga. I'm really sad that's not the quote that's on here. Well, there we go. That is a little under half of the packs from this box. Gungaga! Yeah! And I don't know if I'm going to hold off and like... I think I'm going to open them all and the rest of them in my spare time, but I wanted to do this on stream just because, I mean, it's a Final Fantasy card pack. We do Final Fantasy games on this stream. We have always done Final Fantasy games on this stream. It's been kind of the thing since I started streaming. So when they came out with this set, I'm like, I have to at least one stream where I'm just opening packs of cards. Just simply because that's Final Fantasy for you.